Hi guys, how's it going? So Rachel Zegler, who plays the new Snow White in the new Snow White movie that's coming out in March 2024, made a couple comments about the film on the red carpet premiere, and let's just say a lot of people had a lot of opinions about it. So let's play that clip.
Does this mean that it's no longer 1937 and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
I have a couple notes on my laptop, so that's what I'm looking at if I look off screen. There's this common misconception that Disney today has about the old princesses and their stories, which is that they are weak and they're dependent on men, and that the men around them need them to save and protect them, and that is a trope and narrative that is harmful to children who look up to the princesses, and it's something that we need to change and reconstruct and push this new agenda on. But I argue that the Disney princesses all show a huge deal of strength and leadership. It's just not the type of strength and leadership that we appreciate or acknowledge today, especially not in women. Feminism is this really tricky topic because realistically, the definition of feminism just does not cover the experience of all women of all different groups and all different minority groups, and the different experiences that we have, the different needs that we have. A trend that I've been noticing that has been kind of the forefront of the agenda of modern day feminism today is that women need to learn that they are independent, that they don't need any man, they don't need men to support them, they don't need men to rely on, they don't need men to honestly build a happy, healthy life with, and also that being a feminine woman or touching into your femininity is actually taking us backwards in the feminist movement. And if you do give into your femininity and you do like to depend on the men around you for support and for care and protection, then you're anti-feminist and you are bringing the feminist movement backwards. And I find that whole concept in itself just completely hypocritical, which I will touch on later in this video. But the first thing I want to say is that for me, feminism has less to do with equality and more to do with equity, because feminism is not just about telling women that they're independent and they could do things all by themselves. Feminism is about a lot of different issues that affect different groups of women, different minority groups of women, and the different experiences that they have. There is a different fight and a different level of change that these different groups of women need, and they're all valid. They should all be a part of the feminist movement, but they often go rejected, dismissed, and unheard of. And that's why feminism is this really difficult and tricky topic to touch on, because you cannot cover everything in one go. You can't describe feminism in one little snippet, because what's feminism to you might not be feminism to me, might not be feminism to the next person. But the one thing I think we can agree on is that every different group of women has different needs and needs different kinds of support and levels of support, but that they are valid issues that need to be addressed and need to be touched on. And we need to find a solution to them so that women in those groups don't have to experience discrimination or the danger that they face in the generations to come. I wrote this down, and I do want to repeat it word for word because I kind of think I snapped with it. But I said, although as women, we do have common goals that we want to achieve collectively, our needs are so different, and the mainstream media tends to use feminism as a marketing tool, something to get women to buy their products, to engage in their content, to watch their movies. And Disney's deep desire to change and tweak their original Disney princesses to seek the attention of what they think modern day women want to see is a peak example of just that. It's like feminism is being used as a capitalist tool. It's being used to generate money off of women without actually doing anything for women and to change the livelihood of women today. Again, in my opinion, there's only one stream of feminism that seems to get the attention of media today, and I associate that with a term called white feminism, where the struggles of minority groups are completely out of the picture to create a fight for something that doesn't even include all women. What someone like Rachel Zegler fails to realize is that although she is a woman of color and she started off in the working class as an average average women. Women like her who are celebrities, who make multi-million dollars now, they don't suffer the same way us regular everyday women do. Our fight is different. We don't get to benefit from a celebrity status, which already comes with a level of security. It already comes with a level of prestige. People treat you differently because you're a celebrity. Our fight is on the streets, in courtrooms, in our neighborhoods. I'm not saying that celebrities aren't tied to the neighborhoods that they grew up in or their hometowns, but when you make it out of a certain area, when you make it out of a certain struggle, when you go from being poor to rich, you're still protected from a struggle. Even though you know of that struggle and you know of that lifestyle, you've made it out. So you're good. You can still advocate for your people, but you don't have to struggle and suffer the way your people still are. So the reason why I associate mainstream feminism with the feminism of the privileged is because it fails to recognize the many injustices towards women that affect our livelihood and our safety. Women should be able to be independent and strong while also being in touch with their maternal side, with their soft side, without being told that if you do that, you're doing something wrong, or that you're not feminist anymore, or that you're taking women backwards. The two are not mutually exclusive, even though they can be. We can allow women to be career driven. We can encourage them to take a seat at the table. We can make spots for them at the table that might mostly be dominated by men. But we cannot do that by saying if you choose to be more traditional, if you choose to be more maternal, and choose to not be career driven and focused on being independent, that you are less than the modern woman, or that you're falling into the patriarchy. This constant push that feminism is this strong, independent girl boss is ridiculous, and it's very, very untrue. As a matter of fact, I'd even say it's harmful. It makes a woman believe that depending on a man for anything is of harm to themselves, when in reality, women and men need each other in order to build a functioning society. We just do. We depend on one another. We've seen in history how men shutting doors on women have been harmful to what we can do for society and to society in general. But now I feel like there's a little bit of the opposite happening, where women do have way more opportunities than we ever did in history. But because we have these opportunities, we're starting to lose the balance of letting women choose whether they want to focus on being a career, or if they want to be a housewife, or if they want to be a little bit of both someone who does have a career and does push their ambitions, but also wants to come home and have a traditional family with a husband and with kids and have that balanced lifestyle. It's not that clear cut and polished what a woman desires in order to feel like she has really accomplished what she wants in her life. It's a journey for every single woman, and we change as we grow older and older. But again, I feel like this constant push, this narrative that we don't need men and that we are good on our own and we are super and hyper independent, it doesn't help women flourish any more than women constantly being told that they need to be at home and that they need to be taken care of and that they don't have any agency over themselves. The two are just almost extreme opposites of each other. On my 18th birthday, one of my friends, her name is Noor, shout out Noor, actually gifted me this book. It's an amazing book and I highly, highly recommend it. It's titled Hood Feminism. And I want to read an excerpt from that book to you guys to give you an idea of what real feminism to me looks like. So Mikki Kendall in her book touches on a lot of different topics that affect Black women and also women of color in general that doesn't seem to be talked about when it comes to feminism in the mainstream media. And the entire book itself is so amazing, and I have so many tabs on so many different pages, and I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to be more educated on the feminist movement from the perspective of those of us that are forgotten about in society, or in general, anyone who calls himself a feminist. Do give this book a read. It has a cover, but I took off the cover. Anyways, I'll read you guys this excerpt, and it says, "What does feminism have to do with guns? After all, guns aren't a feminism issue, right? Except they are. They just might not be a feminist issue in your life. Not right now, anyway. But many women, especially those from lower income communities, face gun violence every day. The presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation makes it 5 times more likely that a woman will be killed. Women get killed by these guns because they're available, because their partners are violent, because an accident with a gun is more likely to be fatal, because of a dozen mundane reasons made worse by the availability of weapons." She also goes on to say, "Girls drop out of school at nearly the same rate as boys in an effort to avoid having to pass through places where shootings are common. That is in an effort to survive. Mothers bury their children because of gun violence. Families are irrevocably changed by guns. mainstream media has to engage with gun violence as an everyday occurrence in the lives of some women. And this is just one of many examples of the different issues that disproportionately affect women of color that isn't talked about enough. So when we think of feminism, it isn't just about seeing our Disney princesses become more independent and lose the princes that were a part of the original stories. It's actually a lot deeper and more complicated than that. But I want to end this video by emphasizing that Snow White is a feminist. In the story, she is this beautiful girl who everybody admires because, yes, she is by appearance so gorgeous. But the moral of the story is not about her beauty or a woman's beauty defying all. It's about the care, the moral value, and everything she has to offer the people around her, which is kindness. To be good to those around you, that is what saves her in the end. Kindness is Snow White's tool. She takes care of those around her. She makes the best of her dire situation. And it isn't the prince that saves her. It's her own ability to stay resilient through all the hardships that she faces and to stay positive and kind no matter what other people throw at you, no matter what other people do to you. The prince was her little cherry on top. Yeah, her happy ending. But her whole life, it was her wonderful and nurturing personality which made others come to her protection, which made the dwarfs want to bring her into their house and take care of her while she was kicked off and banished from the castle. When I think of Snow White's story, I think of community. I think of people banding together in order to take care of one another. The same thing we see in a lot of communities in the real world. And there is nothing wrong at the end of the day with a woman marrying a man who can elevate her lifestyle. So even if the prince saved Snow White by making her a princess and by taking her out of this little cottage in the middle of the woods, that is a fabulous ending and something that women shouldn't be ashamed of. You shouldn't be ashamed of wanting to look for a partner that can offer you more, that you can build something more with. We should not make women ashamed of wanting to marry or be with someone who can offer them protection, offer them stability in a way they might have never had before. What we should be promoting, I think, in mainstream media is women respecting themselves, holding themselves to high standards, and not letting any man convince them that they are worthy of anything less than the best, and doing their very best to be the absolute best version of themselves. It's not all about hyper independence. It's about being able to be comfortable and happy within yourself so that you can attract things around you, people around you that will elevate your life and make you a happier individual. Because at the end of the day, none of us, nobody can go without company. We cannot go without partners. That's just not how human beings are designed. No matter if you're straight or if you're gay, we all desire company. And it's okay to want that. It's just that we need to, as women, respect ourselves first and hold ourselves, like I said, to these high standards so that we don't just accept any man that comes into our life. I think that's what we should be teaching young girls. Not that they don't need a man. That's all I have to say about that. It's a little bit of a lot, and I feel like I repeated myself several times, but let me know what you guys think, what your thoughts are. If you have read the book, Hood Feminism, tell me what your thoughts are on the book. If you have anything to add, anything you disagree on, let me know. Leave a comment down below. But anyways, thank you as always for watching my video. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you doing, bruv? Get to it. Appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.